What the? Hey, I'm trying to sleep here. What happened here? Are they all dead? They're just going crazy. Oh no. Hello everybody, welcome back to another toy review. Today we are taking a bit of a break from the Iron Man-thon because burnout, all that good old stuff, to look at Evangelion. Yeah, I know, what is this? You trying to be topical because Evangelion's coming to Netflix and everyone's going to be searching, oh, Evangelion this, Evangelion that. Well, yeah, that's the point. Well, I was excited for Evangelion, as many people were, so at the beginning of the summer I decided, hey, I'm going to pick up an Evangelion model kit, as well as like 5 others, and probably more. I have an addiction. Please help. Yeah. But yeah, speaking of Evangelion, it came to Netflix. I've been watching it for the first time ever. I've never watched Evangelion before this. So I've been watching through this new version, the subbed version. It's good. It's a good show. It's a good show. I'm only at episode 10. I'm only about to start episode 10, Magma Diver. But yeah, getting out of the way from the series, the figure. As previously mentioned, this is a model kit. As such, this is just me spreading my thoughts on my version of the figure. I could have really messed something up, and I don't know about it. So take this review with a bit of a grain of salt, as it doesn't fully represent all copies of this figure. Just my copy of this figure. Speaking of that, the sculpting on this figure is really good. I honestly prefer the buff upper body and then thin lower body proportions that this version has, rather than it being a lot more thick around here. I'm just personally not a fan of how that looks, where it's with like the, I believe, I forget which figure it is, but a bunch of the figures have that. I prefer these proportions personally. But the painting, as previously mentioned, is non-existent on the base figure. However, I went the extra mile to add paint, which I will tell you about now. So speaking of my paint job, we got a little bit of black on those little dots on the green feet pads, whatever they're called. We have these black sections inside of the body, which were originally purple. That was the biggest thing that irked me. A couple of black sections up here on the orange. And the head, the thing I'm most proud of. I have the little eye details, as well as a red mouth. I am very happy with the way those came out, personally. But that's just for my personal figure. The base figure doesn't come like that. For sticker details that I may paint on later, we have these green bits on the feet, as well as these orange bits on top of these knee pads. We have the green bit on the chin, the green bit on the horn, these big purple bits on the back of the shoulder pylons, which are the most annoying stickers. The eye stickers, and this little green bit in the back. I could be missing other stickers, but those are the basics. You'll be able to see it when you're building. Now, moving on to the rest of the decals, they are Waterslide Decals. If you didn't know what they are. Well, they're basically little decals that you cut out of the sheet, as you can see here, and then you dip them in water, and then you slide it onto the part. Kind of self-explanatory, but it's helpful. But as you can see on this sheet, I haven't applied all the Waterslide decals. I haven't applied the Eva-01 test decals which go onto these arm bits, these lower arms. But the ones I have applied are these ones up on the shoulders. And that little one back there, that was the hardest one to apply, and as you can tell, it's a bit off-center, but I'm fine with that. But this figure also comes with a couple of nice little basic colors as well. It comes with mostly this really nice lavendery purple plastic. Lavendery? Should I say it's lavendery? This really nice kind of nice blue plastic, as well as this weird grayish blue plastic that's on the chest and the bottom of the mouth. And then you have the green plastic, which is all over the arms and down here at the feet. You also have a bit of orange plastic, which is at the bottom of the feet, which, there you go, as well as in that neck section. Now, when you look at the materials, the weirdest bit is on the arm. Now, excluding the pylons, this, and the hand, it comes as one piece right off the runner. Why is that, you may ask? Well, that's because these little arm sections, right there, those black bits, those are made out of a rubber-like substance, which allows it to keep one solid structure while still being able to be flexible. And if you look at the box art, or the box art, let's turn that around there. There are a bunch of mechanisms within the arm which allows it to bend. However, something that will be covered in the posability section is that doesn't really allow for a great range of posability. But in all honesty, the entirety of the figure really does convey the look of the Unit 1 very well. The Eva-01, whatever it should be called. I feel like the colors are decent, but I would definitely recommend getting a couple of colors, especially for the black within the body there, because it kind of looks off when it's just purple. But overall, the sculpting is very good, especially for a kit that came straight out of the 90s. You know? And I think limited models are also kind of lacking in posability, so the posability in this will be really good for that as well. But before we get into any form of posability, we have to look at all of the different accessories that this figure comes with. Starting off with hands, he comes with one pair of closed fists, one gun/weapon gripping hand, and speaking of that spear, here it is. It's quite a long one. I'm pretty sure it's the one from episode 9, I think it is, the one where there's that one angel that splits into two, and it fits in just simply by sliding it into the hand, and it grips it quite well, and whatnot. Going back to the gun gripping hand, inside of it you can fit, firstly, the progressive knife, which comes in an all-gray plastic similar to this, but I painted the top in a more gunmetal-y gray color. It didn't really give off the effect I wanted it to, but it's alright. Next up on the accessories list that fit into that hand, it comes with the Pallet Rifle, the iconic Pallet Rifle, which fits in decently well, not amazingly. It looks amazing, but it could have just been sculpted in gray. Like, you had it for this and another gun later down the line, but you could have sculpted this in gray. Why is it in black? Finally, for accessories, we have this really long sniper rifle that the figure can't really hold all too well. I mean, it's super heavy, and due to posability issues, it can't really hold it with both hands. So this is really the best you can get. And honestly, I don't really like posing it with it. It's a bit annoying, but whatever. Moving to her back, we have two accessories that'll occur over here. Firstly, we have the umbilical cord, which allows it to plug in on the back. Let me just do that real quick. If it unplugs, you're alright. You just plug it right back in. Sadly, the cable doesn't really bend very well, and it doesn't really have anywhere to go. It doesn't really have any power sources to use up, so that's kind of unfortunate in the case of that. But otherwise, it looks really nice. It's sadly also in black. I don't see why it couldn't have also been in gray, but you can just paint that yourself, probably. Finally, for back accessories, if we move the neck up like that, and then start pulling that up, give me a minute to pull it up, and then you pull that out. Hopefully you got that. We have an entry plug, which was also originally in black, but I decided to paint it in white, but otherwise it's really nicely sculpted. And you just plug it right back in, go like that, whoop-de-doo. Finally, to round off the accessories, we have this really odd, insanely out-of-scale pilot figure of Shinji Ikari. Which, I mean, it's all in this weird pale color and you're supposed to paint it, but no. But overall, in all honesty, the accessory count that comes with this figure is honestly not half bad. It comes with a couple of the ones that you would want, as well as the rifle, but I've stated my opinions about the rifle, but you really come with all that you need to get a couple of the really nice basic Unit 1 poses. Speaking of poses, we're going to start with the head. It has a ball joint and a weird hinge joint on that red bit, which allows it to go 360 if it doesn't get caught. Look about up that far and down that far. The mouth is on a hinge, which allows it to open like so. Closing that up. Moving on to the arms. This is really the most lacking bit of posability. It's able to go about forward, not too much, back not too much, and those joints don't really like doing that because they easily fall out. And of course, when I'm trying to tell you it doesn't do it, whatever. And then there's a ball joint here, as well as a hinge, which allows it to go up not very far, but it also allows it to rotate 360. Of course it doesn't do it. And then moving on to the shoulder pylons real quick. They're on a hinge, which allows them to go back and forth really quickly. Moving down to the elbow, it's able to bend about 90-ish degrees before you start breaking stuff. I don't really want to break stuff. And the hand is on a basic ball joint. Of course, now it breaks. When I'm talking about the hand ball joint. From there, though, the posability gets a lot better. You have a ball joint at each of these sections. About 3, I think, which allows it to go arch back a pretty decent amount. Hunched forward really nicely, which allows it to do its iconic bad posture or whatever. And it allows it to go side to side. It can't go full 360, but it can do a couple of decent bends. But then moving on to the legs, these are some of the nice poses. It can go up really nicely. It's super unrestricted. It can go back also really nicely. The spread, the side-to-side spread, whatever, ain't super good, but it's serviceable. And then the ball joint, it doesn't really have a full waist sweep. Well, it kind of does, but it's not super duper well. It's kind of hindered by the way that the leg is. But then moving to the rest of the leg, there's a double bend at the knee, which allows us to go that far, and this is on its own independent joint. And I've never had that break, so it was a bit funny, gonna be honest. And then moving on to the foot, the basic is on a ball joint. Allows it to go up and down, and then pivot. The little foot armor is on a ball joint, which allows it to swing around and whatnot. And then the foot has a toe bend. But yeah, overall the posability on this kit is really nice and really serviceable. If there was a lot more in the arms, I would have been a lot happier with it. But as it is, it's decent enough, it's serviceable, you can work with it. But one thing that really isn't disappointing about this figure is its size, being about 8.5-ish inches to the top of the head, 9 if you count the shoulder pylons, and about, I want to say, 3 to 4 inches wide. That's quite big for a high-grade model kit. But to compare it to other figures, we have the Marvel Legends Iron Man Mark 7, the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Homecoming Tech Suit Spider-Man, the Gundam The Origin High-Grade Zaku 2, the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Shadow Ranger, Tahu Master of Fire, the Hasbro Iron Man Mark 50, the Real Grade Gundam Stray Red Frame, and this is one of my favorite model kits I've ever built, Fight Me. And finally, the Real Grade Gundam Unicorn. And these two kits are strikingly similar. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, from the unicorn horn to the different modes when it goes crazy, it's too similar. But we'll get to that in the unicorn review. Overall, I'd say this kit's pretty good, but it's not without its flaws. With stuff like the arm posability and certain color choices, it makes it hard for me to recommend this over maybe like an actual figure of the Eva-01, or maybe one of the other model kits. But, I mean, if you're looking for a kit that looks like this, I would definitely pick it up. And if you're, of course, an Evangelion fan, or you're just getting the show like me. So yeah, that's it for this review. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, or whatever. And I'll be back next time with more of the Iron Man-a-thon. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!
3, 2, 1. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song, and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.